Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines. JPMorgan in crypto, but I thought they weren't going to fool with crypto. I thought it was a pet rock. You know what? This is incredible where we're going. Crypto ETFs approaching $1 trillion, everyone. And how about XRP to $100? How about somebody roll that beautiful intro so we can find out?
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.84 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off 4.5%, well under the 4 trillion plus mark we've been at. Bitcoin down to 110,500 plus. Everything's bleeding heavily right now. 3,900 plus for Ethereum. XRP at the number 5 spot. 241. We're off 6% in the 24. We're off 19.4 on the 7-day. Look at it, get the range of price here, ranging between 245 and 262. That's where we're at. And we have some TA you are absolutely going to want to see. Crypto boom or crypto bust? Where's we going here? Well, we're going to take a look at the technical analysts and then let you decide. So let's get started right here. First of all, let's decide about this. And we already know the answer, but I want to share with you. iTrustCapital is the best home for IRAs, gold and silver, crypto on the planet, bar none. You could transfer your existing IRA or start a new one. You could roll over your 401k, your TSP, 403b, 457, and more. And they've made it super easy for you to do. You can even get access now to the new premium custody account, which is a non-IRA institutional custody account for long-term holders. If you're a trader, this is probably not a good fit for you if you do day trading. But if you're a long-term holder, I highly suggest you check out that premium custody account. Now, getting back to the IRA side, you know, there's this theme that's come about now because of the raise in the price coming up in Bitcoin. I'll be retracing right now, but overall Bitcoin hitting the new all-time highs earlier in the last week or so. And then we have gold and silver going very high in prices as well. Well, this has really brought a new theme to the conversation called debasement trade. Debasement trade means taking a position in those assets to avoid the debasement of dollars, right? And that could mean the dollars whatever country you're living in. So that's what's going on right now. And you could be taking advantage of this and the IRA at iTrustCapital right this second. And all you have to do is go to itrustcapital.com/XRPArmy and get started today. Use the code XRP6. If you're new, you get a $100 funding bonus. Don't mess around. This is quite possibly one of the most brilliant power moves that someone could make. It's not financial advice. You got to make sure it's right for you, your family, and your portfolio. But the reality is that the people who do this and catch this before this legislation is actually passed and signed into law, I think is going to be one of the most strategic, brilliant moves that could ever be made. That's just me personally. Again, not telling anybody what to do. Click the link underneath the video and check it out. See if it's right for yourself here. Now, letting you know this is going to be a very, very powerful week. DC FinTech Week 2025 at Amazon HQ. And I will be over there to cover Brad Garlinghouse on stage with Dr. Chris Brummer. Shout out to you, Chris. He's amazing, this guy. He was at XRP Las Vegas 25, and he was incredible on stage. And this, I don't mind saying, and I don't say this for Chris's benefit because he doesn't need it. I'm telling you right now, Dr. Brummer's conference, DC FinTech Week, is one of the best conferences in the world anytime against anyone, including the one that I have. So I'm telling you, this is a remarkable experience, and they have everybody under the sun. It's such an incredible event. So here it is. All right, I got a lot going on this week. I can't get into all of I wanted to be there every single day, but I have a lot of travel that has to happen as well. So we're going to be very busy, but I am super excited to be there. DC FinTech Week begins October 14th through the 17th, starting today. We do know Brad Garlinghouse will be sharing the stage with Federal Reserve governors, EU commissioners, not at the same time, but obviously, and Dr. Brummer is going to be hosting the event, and lots of really great moderators too. Eleanor Terrett will also be there. Ripple partners with, is it Immunefi? To launch a $200,000 attack-a-thon to test and strengthen the proposed XRP ledger lending protocol. This seems like a great way to really test this thing and stress test it before bringing it out to the market and letting everybody use it and then finding out there's something wrong with it after, right? So God bless them for all these things that they do. It's very a lot of foresight in what they do, and I'm super excited to see the results of that. And let us not forget that while we're in this government shutdown, while we're hearing all of these new themes come up of debasement trades, right? And debasement of currency, what is the world doing? What is the world of finance doing? Well, the S&P Dow Jones is including XRP in its new crypto broad digital market index, which also includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, Solana token, Tron, Cardano, Chainlink, Avalanche, Hyperliquid. There you have it. If I ever wanted to do a basket, I would probably do this one. That's not financial advice either. And then we see the financial world, the traditional financial world, setting the stage to prepare to launch two new stock exchanges that are absolutely modernized for this new digital on-chain economy in Texas. Yeah. And by the way, I'm sure it's nothing. It's only backed by BlackRock and Citadel, right? I'm sure it's nothing. It'll probably be like a fruit stand, right? I'm kidding. And then we see this. JP Morgan says it will allow clients to trade crypto. Custody will follow, but not in the near term horizon. Well, isn't this interesting? Wouldn't it be funny if Ripple ends up doing custody for JP Morgan? Remember when we saw Jamie Dimon say it was a pet rock, right? Now they're going to allow their clients to trade crypto. Well, I remember when somebody out here in our own community was saying banks are never going to offer crypto. Oh, boy, was he wrong. And then here we see this. How about this for numbers here? According to analyst Eric Balkunas, crypto ETFs are on track to surpass 1 trillion in assets this week. This week, fueled by 30 billion in weekly ETF inflows. And by the way, we're coming off a flash crash. And we may not be out of the hole yet. But let's listen to Bitwise's CIO, Matt Hogan. Shout out to you, Matt. And he says Bitcoin could hit 200,000 this year. And then he talks about that debasement trade. Take a listen.
There are two things that are going on. One is that the debasement trade has become the hottest trade on Wall Street, right? JPMorgan is writing about it. Everyone is suddenly concerned about fiat currencies. And so they all want to get exposure to the two best plays in that space, which are Bitcoin and gold. For what it's worth, I think that fact accelerates into the end of the year. One thing people don't think of much is that when institutions and financial advisors sit down with their clients at the end of the year, they want to show them that they had the hottest trade of the year. Last year, they wanted to show them that they owned NVIDIA. This year, they're going to want to show them that they own Bitcoin and gold. And so I think that's going to drive additional interest. The second thing that's driving results is just flows into Bitcoin ETFs. We've seen $3 billion in flows in the first 5 trading days of October. That's nearly a record for a 5-day period. We think Bitcoin ETFs are going to set a record for flows in Q4. We're seeing Morgan Stanley and other wirehouses coming into the space. So I'm really excited about that. Flows in the debasement trade, put them together, and Bitcoin's at 125 and going higher.
Okay, Bitcoin at 125 and going higher. The last time I talked, I think that your prediction for the end of the year was $250,000. Is that still in play?
$200,000. Don't round me up yet.
I'm sorry.
We said we said $200,000 in December of 2024. And yes, I still think it's in play. What we will need in order for that to happen is to see this strong acceleration of ETF flows that I predict will happen. I think we could get $10 to $20 billion in flows in Q4 alone. If we see that and reasonable corporate and government buying, I think 200,000 is a reach, but still very much possible by the end of the year.
There you have it. He's super bullish. You know what? I'm super bullish on the whole market, and we know Bitcoin's leading the market because we're in a speculative trading market at the moment. So, I'm still bullish too, because I believe the US government shutdown will end at some point. And I think we're going to see a lot of this stuff like the legislation get done. And then this market is absolutely going to take off. So that's just my point of view. It's what I think. It's not something you have to believe. Nonetheless, the CEO of Bitwise is Hunter Horsley. And he reminded us just a week or two ago, he said, you know what? The new special report from Morgan Stanley GIC, which is the Global Investment Committee, we aim to support our financial advisors and clients who may flexibly allocate to cryptocurrency as a part of their multi-asset portfolios, which means the GIC guides 16,000 advisors managing $2 trillion in savings and wealth for clients. Think of it for a moment. Damn. There's so much money that's getting ready to get access to this space that has not had access to this space, or they've been scared to access this space, and we're about to see it come wide open. But it's going to take that market infrastructure bill, I believe. And where are they going to go for the exposure? Well, remember this. This broke in September when the SEC and CFT allow spot trading for cryptocurrencies on registered U.S. exchanges, which means CME Group, New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, which I spelled wrong because I typed terrible, CBOE, ICE Futures US, and Foreign Board of Trades, just to name those. So there you have it. This means U.S. exchanges will be able to list crypto for trade. That's all coming, just like the S&P basket index that I showed you. That's where this is going, regardless of the price action, which, by the way, we should be talking about right now. Egg Crypto says measured move breakdown 214. The chart for XRP indicated that we should have broken 214 based on the descending triangle formation. While this is more about reporting the chart than predicting price action, let's break it down, he says. Let's set aside the wick that we experienced on Friday for now. Unless you're in a big leverage position, then it's hard to ignore. Right now, XRP is ranging between 240 and 260. Remember how many times I've emphasized that 265 is a critical price target. Remember, 265 to 365 was called the noise channel, where we're still bullish but bouncing around. So we're below that. Breaking that, and we could see 250 to 240 within reach. We're still in the same location and experiencing similar price action. He goes on to say, I'll be genuinely concerned about the integrity of this cycle if we start closing 3-day candles below $2 and 191. At that point, I'd have to admit I was wrong about XRP, and hitting 365 was the cycle top. Until then, I'm still bullish. The next 60 to 90 days could change everything. So that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. And I just wanted to show you now, before we go away, Peter Brandt, the famous trader here, market trader, puts this out. As a student of classical charting principles and history, has there ever been a pure long-term chart? Take a look at it. There it is. This is what we're looking at on the macro here. And when I look at that drawdown, that flash crash, it looks a lot like this one right here. Now, I'm no TA guy, and I don't claim to be, but I'm watching it the same way that this cat's watching through these blinds right here. I'm watching it the same exact way. Look at that. And could we see another, struggle to fight here before an actual breakout and experience that breakout? And if we do, what's driving the breakout? ETF approvals? The market infrastructure bill passing? Ripple getting the bank charter? The Federal Reserve master account? All of the above? John Deaton saw this same chart from Peter Brandt as I did, and he said, I'd like to know what both blockchain backer and credible crypto think related to Peter's point of this chart being has there ever been a purer long-term chart? Well, I didn't see blockchain backers response. Shout out to him, but I did see credible bull crypto. This has been my bias for a while, and nothing has changed in the last 48 hours. The XRP chart remains one of the most bullish hourly time frame charts in the entire space. And I look forward to seeing XRP at double digits by the end of his cycle, he said. John Dean says, glad I asked. Thanks. And I say thank you too. Big salute. Then let's hear the first 50 seconds of this. This is Rupert from All In Crypto. Give him a follow. He says this giant cup and handle we're looking at that he's seeing could take us to $100.
Very common when you run into all-time highs. We just released a cup and handle pattern, and it's really all about a cup and handle pattern course on Patreon. And it really is all about price discovery and running into all-time highs and forming that kind of handle, which this may be, before then seeing continuation. I'll throw up some examples on the screen. And I think XRP could be doing this. This is going to give you, if this is a cup and handle, just shy of $100 XRP price that we'll probably do a separate video on. But this is very common.
And that's the long-term target of a cup and handle. The immediate target is $9.20, $19.20 plus. If you could just see here, $19.27 he's looking at for an initial target from this. But ultimately, it could take us to $100, he's saying. So this is pretty remarkable what we're looking at here. Look, I'll take 19. We got to have 19 before you can have 100, right? I'll tell you what, I'm super bullish because of all the fundamental things that I named, but the chart here for most technical analysts, including Eggrad Crypto, is still bullish for now. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.